A boom boom.
Hey, this is Time Bomb, and if it's your first time checking out the channel, hit that subscribe button to catch all the updates. Thanks a lot for joining me here today. That's right, it is your favorite flat screen button masher, the guy who needs to get a haircut, change his shirt, and that's right, Time Bomb. Thank you, thank you. So today, in this episode, what I'm talking about is shunt lag, and I'm not saying shunt lag isn't real. Shunt lag is it's real, but it's not the issue that everyone thinks it is. They think that shunt lag is, it's a real, obviously, it happens, in any game when you hit a button, time that it takes for it to hit the servers for it to reaction. Your ping, depending how bad it is, will determine how long that takes. So that's real. I'm not saying, it takes time for sure. Depending on the servers, depending on where you're playing, that's going to happen. But the shunt lag issue that most people are seeing is where they aren't having drifts register is different than that. Where it's happening and where I'm going to get into it in this is exactly that, explaining how I think it happens from my testing. I've been asking tons of people about this, and it varies. Lots of people are seeing it. I think people get away from shunt charging too because of it and mix in some different styles, but this isn't, I think, why it's happening, and I'm going to go over a few different strategies on how to avoid it happening, how to mitigate it, and what you need to do to be evasive while shunt charging at zero throttle, like we showed in other videos. So Gonk did go over this in great detail in another video we had earlier. I'll link that in the description. I'm going to give a brief description of it in this as well, and generally talk about the different ways to mitigate it, which I think there is basically, like 3 or 4, and I kind of talk about them. And myself, I fly the TIE Fighter more, and I still see it there, but with the Bomber, it's much more apparent. I'm using standard and slam here, just like in the video that kind of Gonk showed, and I'm not firing as much. I do show how you have to mix in the firing to keep it up, and showing how you have to monitor kind of the levels of your tanks as you're going, and use drifts accordingly, and how you can be evasive, and you have to just use these different styles, which I'll talk about in here to avoid it anyway. So thanks a lot for checking this out. I'll get into it. I appreciate it. So shunt charging, Gonk made the video of. Sequencing is pretty simple. You fill up this, you put it over here, you boost, you drift, put it shunt back into weapons, back into engines, boost. Again, when you drift, you shunt it back into weapons, then back in, you boost. Boost, drift. When you drift, you shunt it into weapons, you put it back into boost, and you boost. So this is the idea. Now, the thing that happens though is right there. When I went to repeat the sequence, and I didn't get the drift. Now I will. Let's see, I get it there. But then when I boost again, here I get it. You can kind of see it. I'm gonna boost again from this one, and there we didn't get it. Now the reason that sometimes people think this is happening is because of shunt lag. But that's not it. The reason that it's happening is how quickly you're pressing the boost after shunting. Right here, and then I didn't get it because I immediately hit the boost as I shunted over. So what you can do to mitigate this, so really, how do you avoid it altogether? What you do is you boost, you drift, and when you throw it into engines, listen to this sound. See how there's 2 sounds that happen there? That second one of it basically is when you can boost again without getting that penalty to the drift the next time it happens. Now, this is the thing. It's not that their shunt lag isn't real. Shunt lag is a thing that happens. How much you're lagging to the server determines how quickly the shunt will happen, and it determines how quickly the boost will happen after you have it. That's like anything, right? Your ping will determine how quickly, when you hit a button, it happens in game, right? So there's also this factor, though, too, where that engine, when it shunts over, has to fill up a little bit, too, before you boost, like I'm talking about. So you get that sound to trigger it, so you know to fill it up. In the heat of battle, that's not an easy thing to do. So you have a few strategies to mitigate it, right? When you boost, you drift, then you boost again. Well, that's not a good example. I think it happened. You boost, you drift, and you boost again. You know what's going to happen. You do a cut, and you boost again, and then your next drift will be good. So it does add an additional couple button clicks, though, because you go boost, cut, boost, and then you can drift again. So that's one way, when you know for sure you had to hit it like right away to be evasive. But you know that you had to be basically in a little bit longer of a straight line. You might not be, maybe you want to make another type move right away, which you now can't do because you have to add in an extra boost. So that's not ideal either. So you can also, you know, every time you do it, wrist, and when you throw it over, wait for that sign, and then, oh, well, I'm gonna hit that wall. That was exactly the bad example of where not to boost. But you boost, hit it, shunt it over, wait, then you can boost again and get repetitive boosts. Wait for that sound. You'll always get the thing afterwards. You just have to wait for it to just make sure that you're getting it to trigger. Just wait for that sound. So if you wait for that sound again, that may not be ideal. But when you come in shooting, by the time you are finished shooting, when you've thrown it over, you know that you're going to be good. So that's one way to mix it in and actually more practically. Shooting while you're doing it, shunting it over, you're going to have it by the time you get there. The other thing that you can do is, like, normally when you do it, you do weapons for one, and you shunt over for another. But you can kind of do this triple almost, like a little triplet, I'm going to call it, where you go boost, triple, and then again. See how quickly I'm doing it? So it's just naturally going to give you enough time that you will, like back over there. See, it's just like going right back over. You can just give you a quick one anyway. Oh, and then I blew it afterwards, though. That's the idea, anyway, of another way to mitigate it. So those are your three ways. You can give it like a triple boost. You can wait for that sound to clear. You can do it while you're shooting. Or you can do that quick little triplet. So a lot of ways to mitigate the shunt lag. Unfortunately, it just is part of it. I had some theories that it had to do with separating, you know, the boost and the drift button to different keys to avoid it, and I thought it was a symptom of the boost and drift being related, but I just don't think it is. From what I can tell, it has to do completely with the things I'm talking about. Shunt lag is an issue. It's a real thing, but it's not what's causing the drift not to register. What's causing the drift not to register is the amount of time it takes for that engine to fill up so that you can boost again. You hear that second sound. It's that second sound that you need before you can really do it. And if there I did it early, so I got to know to adjust when it comes to having a extra boost, because I'm not going to get the drift I want otherwise. And it's way worse with the bomber. I fly the TIE Fighter a lot more, and it is just 10 times worse with the bomber. You really got to be more aware of it. So adding the extra boost is always the safest way. Just because when you're doing the longer drifts, you're making yourself slightly more vulnerable, but you do want to work in longer drifts so you can charge up your weapons more, so when you shunt over, you have boost there. There's a little triple tap. In situations like that, where you might just have to, like, use a boost earlier just so you can avoid a piece of infrastructure. Oh, wow. Great job, timing. Just stalling it out. You gotta hold those drifts basically to keep your engine charged enough, too. So when you're using the extra boost, that does make it tough, so you gotta kind of time it. I'm just totally avoiding the shunt lag penalty when I'm able to do that. Waiting for the sound, right? Oh, hit something though. Very good, but I didn't get the shunt penalty on the next one. Waiting again. Just listening for that sound. See, I'm never getting it when I listen for that sound. Oh, ran out of boost though. Hold it a bit here, get some boost back. Put in there. Kind of angle it, add in a triple boost, make sure I avoid it, get an extra drift. Hold this one. Make sure that I'm waiting for the sound. Hold it in the back, do a little triple. Let it charge up, put it back. Do a little triplet for a quick one. Do another triplet for a quick one. We're back. We're going to hold this drift to charge it up again. A little hold, and then you can start to be flying evasive again. So quick charge back over. Now boost, I had to wait for it. Now coming up. It's just with the sound, I think there. I got to do a quick one here, otherwise I'm going to hit stuff, and I still did. But now I know I have to really wait. Get it charged up again. Boosting in there, kind of an early one, waiting for the sound. We got triplet. Really low now though. I haven't got to hold this drift now. See, I've messed up there. Basically by not holding that drift before that one, I lost it. So now I'm working it back again. I'm just using these different strategies here. Early hold, but I know I have juice. Went in for the drift. I went pretty early there. I gotta hold this one now. Got a decent hold there now. Back. See, I'm just using these different strategies, and you see, I'm able to at least avoid the penalties that I was getting before for boost. Oh, well, I'm going to crash right into it. But that's the idea anyway, to completely avoid it. Really appreciate you guys checking out this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. I know this is an issue for people. This is something that's going on. It's just debatable if it is the way that it is, or what the deal is with the game exactly. But this is my findings from my testing. In doing this, I've also had some people tell me about the same kind of an issue with the boost extension kit. So I'm going to start to look into that a little bit more and see if it does kind of come from the same place. It's very possible that it is similar, since it is kind of like in that first hit of it. So I don't know. We will see. I'll check that out next. So I'm interested to find out. Let me know what your thoughts are on the shunt charging and the shunt lag issue, as we call it, and what you think about the boost extension issue too, because we'll talk about that one next. So thank you very much for checking out this video. I'm Time Bomb. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you guys later. Boom, boom.